Hello everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to the next month's makeup looks. Yep, I started with May 2nd, I guess, today, and I want to welcome you all to my channel. And on this particular video, you will see a collage, and you'll see different makeup looks that I do during the month, and this will probably be for the month of May. And like I said, it's May 2nd, and today my eye look is with the Artr palette. And my hair is really bugging me, and I've got a shadow over my eyes. I'm trying to pull it away so you can see it better. I don't know that I've got it all evenly on, but I did the best I could today. And I've got my little hat on, so that's a little bit of distraction. But I really kind of like this. Usually when I use the Artr palette, it's Artr Beauty. And it's this palette right here. I usually just use the purples. And today I used the blues and the grays. And I still have some purple. So I used a little combination. I put this really dark color here, like a grayish blue, in my corners. And I actually went over my whole lid with that. And then I thought I would top it off with like some of this lighter purple here, and I have some of this shiny gray on. I even have some of this blue. I put this darker blue, believe it or not, in different spots on my eye. So, and I've got a glare because we're still having storms today, but I want you to see what I have. And it's, like I said, it's not even all even, and that's probably because I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But I wanted to show y'all the blue look out of this because I've never done this particular look out of the Artr palette. So, and I even put on some of this purple here. Now, I have not used that purple too much and that blue there. So, it's all kind of mixed in. I just kind of blended it in. And then for my eyeliner, I have 3 colors. I started off, okay, I have 2 colors. I have the gray, which is an Estee Lauder Smoke. So I have that underneath, and I did some, going up for lifting. And then I used this sky blue on the tops, just on the tops. And I didn't bring in my other pencil, but my Estee Lauder Cream, I have that in my waterlines. So that's basically that look for my eyes. And then I used my PrimeLash Volumizer mascara, which is very nice. I really like this. It's becoming a favorite. I use the regular as Prime Pro Matic. So I used the regular Prime Pro Matics, but I ran out, so I ordered the Volumizer when I replaced it because I wanted to try it out. They're both great, and they have nutrients in it, and it helps make your eyelashes grow, and it conditions them. Now, I used my Estee Lauder Futurist Aqua Brilliance Primer all over, as I usually do, and I went back to that Fenty. I really love this. And I'm going to have shadowy lighting today because of the rain. And then I went over my face with Skin Food. And I don't know if y'all are familiar. Skin Food is out of Korea. And this is a coconut face powder. And I use that, and I really like it. And they're pretty popular over there in Korea. And I used this ultralight double wear, mixed it with some of my regular double wear. But why I brought this in here is I found me the 5-in-1 ginger. I bought the wrong color, and it really wasn't dark enough. So now I have this color to mix in, and I found it in my little treasure trove of Estee Lauder, which I have a lot. One day I might have to show y'all. But anyways, I also used this Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess for my contouring that I always do, and it's the same thing. I go under here, I go up my cheeks and up across the top, and sometimes down my neck. And then for my lips today, I decided to go with my, I think it's Love Who You Are. I believe that's who that is, by that Kim Grau, I believe. And I used an Estee Lauder lip liner. And I was trying to find it here because I like this color too. It's a nice color. It's a double wear lip liner, and it's in the color mauve, so it went really good with this lipstick because it is kind of a mauvey color. So that's my lip that I have on. So anyway, that's today's look. I just thought I would start off May something different. I haven't done this look before. I've done similar looks, I guess, because other colors have blue, but this is a blue purplish look that I got out of this, and overall I like it. I seen I have some fallout underneath there, but that's okay. I just go with it. Like I said, I'm not professional. I'm just showing y'all what a 65-year-old does. And the funny thing is I've probably been doing my style of makeup for a long time, so it's like real easy and fast for me to put on, but I'm not perfect with it. So, and you know that when you see my look. But that's what I did. I want to share it with you. And this month, whatever, I don't know how many looks I'll have, but we'll go to a collage and we'll see the next one from here to here. Be sure and check my descriptions for any giveaways. Use hashtag Jubilee if you want to be a part of the Jubilee giveaway in a sentence. Hashtag Jubilee at the beginning, the end, or in between, wherever. And you'll be entered. And if you want to share a video, you can get an entrance into the monthly Jubilee draw, up to 3. Share 3 videos and you can get up to 3 entries. You can share as many videos as you like because it does kind of help us a little bit, but I don't think it does as much as what some people claim that it does. Okay, I'm just going to spit that out there for some of you that might be wondering about how it works, because but for me, I'm doing it as a way for an entrance for this special giveaway, whatever it's going to be. I haven't put my giveaways together, but May will be having some good ones. So by the time you see this, May will probably be over, now that I think about it. So if it's June, keep on using hashtag Jubilee. All right, guys. Now we're going to go on to the next video. Well, hello, I am back with my next look, and this is in May, the 1st of May, and I think this is May 4th today. And I thought I would show you my look because I used the Natasha Denona palette that I got out of my BoxyCharm. And that's the one that looks like this. And it's kind of a smoky, neutral tone look. And I have all the colors on my eyes. And of course, I used the lighter colors as a foundation. I went with this cream here that was all over, and then I shimmered it with this lighter one here. And then I put this base brown like in my crease and a little bit on my lid. And then I went back over it with the shiny here. And then in the corners, I have this on in the corners of my eyes, and then I have some of this on top of this brown in my crease. So I kind of just blended it all in. And then of course I use this color and this color to highlight up above. And that's the look that I came up with. I did use my Charlotte Tilbury brown eyeliner pencil. I like that color brown. It seems to work good for me, and I thought with this palette it would go good. And then I used the Laura Geller mascara. And guys, I think this one has peptides and things in it. It just says lengthening and volumizing. So I don't know. I don't think it has the nutrients in it that, like Prime Promedics has. But overall, it performs well on my lashes. And I've enjoyed it. So see, I can even get a little bit extended look out of it. And I've enjoyed using this mascara. It's starting to dry out, so it'll probably be in my empty soon. But it's a good mascara. And then I use my same foundation, Estee Lauder, and then that's the Estee Lauder Double Wear. And then I've got my Fenty on for my blush. Like I'm telling you guys right now, I'm really into this blush. And I know I'm not getting a lure box, but if I was going to be getting a lure, I would pick the pink and see how it is. This is the Poppy. It's called Lolly Poppy, and I just really love it. I think it's going great with my skin tone. and it's real easy to apply, and I'm telling you, it does not take much at all. Now on my lips, I have my Estee Lauder Mauve, and I'm using my Lala. I think this is by Karen Grau. I'm not real sure of her name, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, it's LWLA, Love Who You Are, and that is her brand, and this is in pink. It's called Pink Fantasy, and I got this on QVC, so I don't know, if you can just go on her site and get it, or if you can go to QVC, but that's who it is. Kim Gravel. I think I said Karen. So I had part of it right. So that's her lipstick. It's very moisturizing. And then I topped it with Buxom Hot Toddy. And this is a newer Buxom for me, but I like it. It works good. It's kind of pinkish color, so it goes good on top of this one and plumps up nicely. It's not overly, like some plumpers can be really hot. This one's not like that. So that's basically my basic look today. And because I used the Natasha Denona palette, and it's the first time I've ever used any of her palettes, and I'll have to say that the shades are very pigmented and they're very easy and creamy like to work with. So really it was a dream. The only other thing I have on my eyes, of course, is the brow. I used the BBB brow, $1 Billion Brow. And as far as the colors in this, they call them, well, I guess it's just telling me where to put it. I didn't even look at that. I put it on it the way I wanted. That's the way I always do it. But anyway, guys, that's what my look is today. Let me know what you think. How do you like this? Do you like it? I thought it turned out real pretty. So that's all I have today for this look. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, I'm back with the next look. And this here is done with my Maneater palette that I just got from BoxyCharm Shop. And yeah, look at me. I went for a soft look out of that dramatic palette. And I want to show you what I did today. This is the Maneater palette. It is Nightfall by Maneater Tarte or whatever. And it's just a gorgeous palette. And I decided to use these 4 colors right here. This gold, that light brown, the white looking color. Whoops, my finger wants to go the other. The white color, and then that green color. I really like that green color. And of course, you can see there's lots of beautiful colors to pick from. But I decided to go with those 4 quads, because you could technically get a look out of this thing several different ways. I mean, a lot of times I go all over the board, but you could go in quads, like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 up above to get your different looks, or you could go 1, 2, 3 down. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways to get looks out of this thing. But I went with a very natural, light, maybe y'all call this daytime look. Maybe I'm starting to like this, the plain old look, without all the dramatic shadows. I don't know. I'm sure I'll still do the other. But for my mascara, I use my Estee Lauder. And I don't know the name of this. It just says that it's Tuxedo Lash. So I guess that's the name of it. Estee Lauder. And I don't even know if they carry this anymore. I had to have gotten this out of a Blockbuster. That's the only thing I can think of, because I don't have to buy Estee Lauder mascaras because I get them in the Blockbuster. So it either came in a Blockbuster or maybe a Mother's Day special or something. But I don't know if they make that one anymore. But anyway, for my eyeliner, I use the Estee Lauder Plum. I think that's what this is. It's the Double Wear Stay in Place Burgundy Suede. And then I topped over with a line of black mascara. And this I think I just got it all over me. Look at that. Oh, looky there. I got it all over the place. Well, I'm doing good today, aren't I? Wow. I just made a mess out of that. Well, I hope it washed off, but this is LWYA, Love Who You Are, and this is black eyeliner. And I like the eyeliner. It stays on good and it's easy to apply, but apparently you can make a mess with it too. And then on my lips, I have my Charlotte Tilbury. I love this little color here. I use it a lot. Then I have my MAC E for Effortless. I'm pretty sure that's this one. This is one of my favorites. And that is the color. And I use Pat McGrath on my on my cheeks. So I went back to my Pat McGrath on my cheeks. And I like that color. It's just a peachy color, but it goes on good. It's easy for me to blend on. And then I used a Buxom Dolly. Yep, used a Buxom Dolly to plump it up. So that's my makeup for today. Let me know what you think. Do you like that little light look? I mean, it is different, but it's pretty. It's just light and kind of natural, I guess, a little bit. It's a little glamour, no lines going up or anything, just a natural look. And of course, I've got my Estee Lauder foundations on, but that's it for today. And now on to the next look. Hello everybody. Well, we're on to the next look. And this here is another Maneater look. I went with the next 4 shades over. In the previous video, you saw that I did like a light version, kind of a neutral, natural look. And this time I took these 4 shades, these like purpley and pink, and then that greenish up there. They're calling it Nightfall, so I used the Nightfall and Intrigue. I used that quad right here, these 2 and these 2 up here. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. But right in the middle, those 4. So what I did was I put the goldy color on all over as a base. Then I used that Nightfall green color. I put that in my crease. And then I put on half my lid, I put that pinky maroon color right there. So I put this color on. And then in my corners, I put on the dark purple. So I've got those 4 colors on, but I want you to know I've had it on for several hours, and some of the colors seem to have faded or soaked in, you know, moved around probably because of my hooded eyes or whatever. So that's what I have for this look, and I wanted to show it to you. I did use, as far as the eyeliner, I used a gold and I used a purple eyeliner. And these are both by Okalon. Yeah, Okalon. Got those out of my Ice Cream Beauty. I used both of those. And then I did use the white or the cream in my waterline with Estee Lauder. I used the Artr Comeback Mascara, which did pretty good, I think. I think I've had other ones do longer lashes for me. But overall, see if I can bring it up some more. Overall, I think they did pretty good. Like I said, I think I've had others that's done better. And then I didn't line out and up. I let the dark purple color just shade it out and be kind of like my cat eye look. So I didn't draw any lines up, but I did sort of take that purple just on the insides on each side to go up just a tiny bit, like a tip up. And then on my blush, I used the Tarte, I used the Tarte blush as a base, and then I put my Fenty blush Poppy on top of it. So I've kind of got a dual blush kind of going there, but this color is similar to the Poppy. Can't tell it on there, but just so you know, I think this is a prettier color, so I put it on top. Just a little poppy, as they say, and they actually call it lollipoppy, so lollipop. All right, and then on my lips, I use my Estee Lauder Pink Obsession, which looks like this. But what I did this time is I outlined with 2 liners, and it seems to be working pretty good. I outlined first with this one here, which I think it's that Mood Matcher matte, and it's like a pink. And then I went on with this darker one from Appeal, which I think is called Next Level. And both of those work good. This one here is just a little bit darker, as you could see as it went across there. So I kind of filled the outer edges with this one. So, and then of course I did put on some plumper. I used Lip Injection Lip Gloss by Too Faced. And I don't know what color this is. I don't even know if it tells us a color. Just a Girl. So that's what I got with this look. I just thought I'd show, since I have the Maneater palette, I'm trying different looks to see, you know, what I like out of it. This is definitely a dramatic look, a dark look, probably going out maybe at night look, but that's what I ended up with today. So I wanted to at least show it to you, and be sure and use hashtag Jubilee. And now we're on to the next one. Hello, and I'm back with the next look. And it's kind of wild and crazy too, but I went with that Maneater palette. Yeah, I'm doing a Maneater takeover. You saw 2 of the last looks, and now you're going to see the 3rd quad on the bottom row, which is I'm using, and it was the blues. And you can see I dipped into it, but I also had to get into that gold up there. So I have some gold up above there out of the other quad, because I needed to lighten it up. I did not like all that blue across the top of my lid from here to there, but I still have a lot of it on there. And I took that lighter shade of blue and went first. Then I put some of this color on. Whoops. It's opposite to tone it down. And then the darkest blue right here is in the corners. And then this greenish color is in my crease. And then I put the gold that I was telling you about on top. The gold up, the fancy gold. This gold over here. Man, it's really hard doing this backwards. I'm not very good at it. And then, oh my goodness, well, that's my look. That's what I got. It was really dark. I had to go pick up my dogs from the groomers. When I went to them, I didn't have any makeup on. Then when I came back, I had all this on with this bright lipstick. And I thought, oh my God, I look like a floozy. So, I mean, during the middle of the day at noon. So I went in with my sunshades on, and to the grocery store too. I went in on the sunshade, and I'm sorry if my chest offends some of y'all. I've had some negative comments about covering it up, but I don't have no AC right now. It froze up and I'm hot, so I put on something cool. And it's, you know, I'm sorry that I don't have a beautiful décolleté, but it's all messed up with plaque psoriasis. But anyway, what else did I do besides those colors? All right, I used that gold. You could tell where I lightened it up and put gold on there, and I actually think it turned out pretty nice. So I'm not upset with it or anything. I did use a blue liner, and these were Macy specials, so they're probably done by either Clinique, Estee, or maybe even, trying to think, well, one of the big companies. They make them for them. They just don't put their name on it. It's kind of like a no-name brand. It just says cream gel liner. And it looks similar to the ones that you get at Clinique, so that's why I'm thinking. But that's the Estee Lauder company, so I'm going to say something in the Estee Lauder company. And that was white, and I have that on the insides. I had this on top, but I needed a little bit more depth, so I got my Estee Lauder brown. And I do have some brown in the corners coming out with the blue. And it might have took over a little bit on the blue. I just have a little bit of the blue there. And then my mascara is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. And I'm going to see if I can thicken it up a little more. maybe. So anyway, my mascara is the Better Than Sex mascara. So the Too Faced. And then for my blush, I use my Jeffree Star, and this is kind of a, I don't know, like a peachy color. He calls it teddy bear. So got that teddy bear snack on my cheeks. And then I used my new Dibs liner that's kind of a reddy color, so it was perfect for this MAC lipstick that I have on that is so red. I haven't wore this in a while. It's a flat color or a matte, and the color is Red Avant Garnet, so it's really red, and I topped it off with my Buxom Dolly. Maybe I'll put a little more on, and of course it might come off on my teeth, I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of a bold look today for during the middle of the day. I was hiding it when I went back to the groomers to pick them up. But this Maneater palette's been really cool. I'm trying to show y'all a look for each quad area. And so the next time we get into this, it'll probably be that dark brown, the gold, and that, I don't know, rusty color, and that other brown. So we'll get into more neutral looks when we get on that top row. So I'm just trying them out different ways, and maybe I'm not trying it out the right way. I mean, maybe I should be going down this way for my quad, but that's not what I'm doing. So I just want to show y'all. So but this is my Maneater look with that set of quads with mostly all blues and gold on top. Let me know what you think. And now, on to the next. Hello, I'm back. And I have the next look with the Maneater palette. And I am going to have to admit that I wasn't too thrilled with my look when I started, okay? But now that it's completed, maybe not so bad. So I've got my palette in here. I've got all my little goodies that I used. And maybe before I get to the palette, I'll just do this backwards. I use the Ofra highlighter on top of the Fenty Poppy blush. So that is what I have on each side. And it's not as strong today. I must not have put a strong dose of this, because this blush is really usually strong, but I've kind of got a light air about it, I think, today, along with the highlighter, which I don't normally use highlighter, but I thought I would today. I've got my Bronze Goddess, and this is my contour, which I use down my neck, down my nose, down here, and under my chin. And I really like this. Of course, I have two different ones, and it's the only two I'm used the most. This is Sunrise, in case you want to get it. It is available at, any place they sell Estee Lauder. And then on my lips, I used my Spice Estee Lauder because it matches really well with this more, I don't know, mauve-y, rusty color with the colors that I had on my eyes. I went with this one, and it's Estee Lauder, says C33 Tartan Tawny. Now this was a special Estee Lauder package, as you can tell. It's kind of got the Scottish look to it, and I doubt that you can get this color. It was probably made for that giveaway with a purchase. I also used my Estee Lauder 2M, my neutral, as my highlighter underneath, not my highlighter, as my concealer, which I always do. Oh, and I used, when I put on this, you don't want it to be creasing up and cracking up on your face, and so I always use a face powder, and this is Skin Food, and this is from Korea, and this stuff is excellent. It's made out of coconut, and it smells a little bit like coconut, and I love it. It works really good. And the mascara I have on is my Volumizer Black, and this is PrimeLash Mascara Volumizer. I will have their link down in my description because as you can see, this mascara is excellent. And you can save 15% with Miss Jackie Russell and my link. Anyways, their skin food is excellent, and I would highly recommend this. I know I'm always talking about their skincare, but that is really a good face powder. If you ever come across it or decide you want to try it, I think you'd be really pleased with it. And I use my BBB Billion Dollar Brows, and that's on my eyebrows, and I always use that up and over. And then I did use my Charlotte Tilbury Brown, which I use that for my eyeliner. And I forgot to bring my Estee Lauder eyeliner in, but I do have the cream in my eyes, like on the waterline and a little bit on the inside. Now, let's get to this palette, because that's the main thing. I told you I was doing a takeover on my makeup looks, and I'm using the Maneater palette that I got in my BoxyCharm drop, and you know, this got down to 20 bucks if you just wanted the palette, and I know some of y'all got it. Now today we're going to be looking at these four over here in the corner here, that dark brown, which you can see. I've got the rusty color on, I've got the gold on, and I've got that mauve color in my crease. Now, I did my design a little bit different. I went in and I put on my brown on both sides, and then I went and used this rusty color and went right next to it, and that's kind of like from the edge to the center. Then I put on the gold, and then I used this color in the crease, and then I blended that all in. I did use this one light color right here, up here on top, with this gold again. So that is the look that I ended up with, and I'm gonna tell you, I was freaking out when I was doing it because it is a little out of my comfort zone, I guess. But then when I got completed with it, I thought, hey, this ain't too bad. So that's my look. What do you think? Do you like it? It's really pretty. So this is May 21st. And I've got 2 more looks to do to complete this palette as far as the quads go. And I'm not sure if I'll make it through the month of May. I guess it depends how often I use the palette, but I'm trying to give y'all a look of different quads in there so that you can see what the Maneater palette can do for you. And so far it's been fun to play with, and I've enjoyed it. But now we're going to go on to the next look. Don't forget to use hashtag Jubilee if you want to be a part of the Jubilee and or share. But anyways, now to the next look. Okay, and we're back with the next Maneater look, and that's out of this Maneater palette from Tarte that I got from my BoxyCharm drop shop. I got it before the mega sale. You could get that kit for $30 during the mega sale, and you can get this palette for $20 if it's still going on. It's maybe over by the time this comes out, but I'm on my next quad colors, which is in the middle up here. These two and these two. Whoops, well, my hands want to go the wrong way. But in the middle there. So I'm using, I don't know, Mischief, Catnap, Frisky, and Ferocious. Now, I put Ferocious there, the darker brown, inside my eye, the outside edges. But I did use some of this dark brown right here. I did use some of the dark brown because it's just too hard to get some depth, and you need that depth to get that look that I like. And I guess it's a smoky look, but it also opens up my eyes. And then I used that Frisky color all over my lid. Then I put on the Catnap all over my lid. Then I put that Mischief in my crease, and then I brought that brown in And then, of course, that Mischief, I kind of even put on tops of it to give it the shine, but I felt like it needed to be a little lighter, so I put on some of, let's see, this one down here by the green. I guess my fingers are on the other side. Right here, I put some of that on for a highlight, and then I put some of this gold up here on, so you know what I did, okay? So that is the look with those colors that I blended in. And I pretty much just had to blend them in. I used the same brown Charlotte Tilbury that I used on the last look with the other quad. I used the same cream color Estee Lauder inside or my waterline. And my mascara, I used my new mascara. I used the black, and this is the volumizer. I started off with that, and then I topped it with the mulberry. This was the new one that I just got, and that's what the mulberry looks like. It's kind of like a purple, and as you can see, it's buildable, and I built that on top. And if you're interested in PrimeLash mascara, which if you haven't seen it on TikTok, it's kind of gone viral for women over 40, especially 50 and 60 like me. So I use those mascaras to get my full look, and I am using the serum, and I've got a video out on that. I just don't know if it's come out yet. And then I use the same Fenty Poppy blush that I used in the last scene that you saw. And then I use the same lipstick, which is that Scottish Spartan. It's called Tarte Tawny. And it goes really good with the Spice Estee Lauder lip pencil. And then I topped it with ginger. And this is Buxom Ginger. So I use a little bit different color there. But that ended up being my look. And I'm almost done with this palette. I'm trying to give y'all like a Maneater takeover. And this is just using it in the quads, starting from one side to the next. And of course, there's more ways you can design color, and maybe I'll do that later on, but it's just a beautiful palette. And I'm going to tell you, I was kind of freaking out with this again because it's out of my comfort zone. I don't usually use those reddish tones, that orangey tone, so I wasn't too sure, but I went to graduation. Yeah, two of my grandkids graduated today, May 22nd, and it was my Jacob's birthday, so he's kind of like in the middle. He's 15, and it was his birthday on the 22nd. Graduation was on the 22nd for Allie and Sean. They're kind of like what you call Irish twins. So they graduated together, and we had a really great celebration. And so my makeup, this is what I put on this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm doing this at 6:30 at night. Because I wanted to give y'all this look, because I'm trying to do a Maneater takeover. So I've got one more look to do in those quads, and then I'll probably put a collage together, and you'll be seeing it soon. And now on to the next look. Okay, I'm back, and this is the last look with the Maneater palette that I've been working on. And this was I think it might have been the lightest look. I'm not sure. The first one might have been the lighter one, but they're definitely on the end here are the lightest ones over here, and I use these four right here. I've got this color all over my lid as a base. I've got this in the outer corners, this across the top, and I've got a mix of these two in my crease, and then I've got the gold on top. And I didn't use any dark colors this time. I kind of stick with the light, but what I did do to bring some color out, as I got my Revant purple out. It's called the Gel Eyeliner, and this one is in purple, just says Gel Eyeliner Purple. So I'm going to get up a little closer so you can see I did the tops of my line, and I did below, and I went all the way across. And that really helped pull out a little color with those, I guess, natural, neutral eyeshadow tones. And you can see the gold is on the inner edges coming out, kind of sprinkled up with the highlighter up there. But I do have a coupon for Revant. Now this is a gel liner, and it just glides right on, and it's waterproof. It stay put. Once you got it on, it's not going nowhere. And I've been enjoying it. I really like this purple. I like the color of the purple. As you can see, it draws just a little color to it. And if I didn't mention it, this is my last one. I'm going to wrap this up because I did all, I guess, 6 quads in here, and that's what I'm going to do for now. It just shows you all what this palette can do for you. And it's in Ipsy shop. If you have Ipsy for $20, I don't know if it'll still be there. The drop shop will probably be over with. But when it comes back open, you might check, because if they don't sell out, they're still going to have some. But anyway, I think if it's not on the drop shop, it might be $30. But they had a kit that I got for $35. But anyways, this is going to wrap up this video because it's very long. And if you've stayed with me this whole time, why don't you put a big old lips emoji on there, so I know that you've been with me the whole time. And then back to Revant. I don't know if it's 10% or 15%. I can't remember, but I'll have the link and my code down in the description if you're interested in Revant eyeliners. They're very good. And then besides the eyeshadow, the mascara I use, which I also have a link for PrimeLash, and it's Miss Jackie Russell for 15% off. And my link will be down in the description as well. But this is the mulberry, and today I only used the mulberry so y'all could see what mulberry looks like. And I'm going to just lift that up. I'm pretty sure my other video has come out already, but see how you can build on it. Did you see how that went up? Let's try the other. Once you have this on, you can build on it, and I really like that feature. Of course, many of them do that, but this has nutrients, and it's going to help lengthen and improve, strengthen my eyelashes, which I want. And I'm also using their serum, which if that video's come out, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And if it's not, if it is out, I'll link it in this one. Okay, what else did I do? Well, I use my regular Estee Lauder foundations and my primer and my eyelid concealer. But for my blush, I use the Hollywood Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. And this is like a blush and a highlighter all in one. And also, you see that shine through there? I think that's fallout from my gold that's on here, which is okay with me. Some of you may not like that, so I did have some fallout. And then I've used the BBB Billion Dollar Brow on my brows, and that's just a universal color, and it's real easy. I really like it. It glides on. And then the other liner I used was this white, and I've just got that in my waterline on both sides just to brighten up some more. Not that this was dark. And then I used the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. I think it's Pillow Talk. It's called Lip Cheat. That's the color. Okay, she has some weird names. And then I don't know where I got this True and Luscious, but I have this True and Luscious. It's a vintage rose, and I guess that's the brand. What does it say on there? By Luscious Group, I don't know, Beverly Hills. So I don't know where I got this, but I figured with the antique rose, it was that soft look that I needed to pull off with this eye look. And then I haven't showed this on my channel, I don't think, but I do have some Dermalect Cosmetic or Cosmutical, or however it wants to say, but this is the Smooth Lip Volumizer. It's instant and long lasting. And of course I've got it's clear, but because I put this on, I've dirtied it up a little bit. But it has a very minty and very nice feel to it, and it plumps up and it stays pretty nice. So that's this look, and like I said, it's the last look. And I know this video got really long, and like I said, I want to thank you all for being with me, sticking with me, and let me know if you had a favorite look out of all those. I almost put my phone in that box, and then I'd be looking for it, and it's on silent. On top of that, I'd never find it for a while. Yeah, I do crazy stuff like that, but I just want to say thank you for being with me. And if you liked any particular look, let me know. What do you think about the Maneater palette? I mean, you can definitely get a lot of different looks out of that palette, and I enjoyed each one. And I may come back and do quads going down. I don't know. I haven't decided on that. But since I got that palette and I liked it so much, I just want to show y'all the different looks. Now, don't forget to use hashtag Jubilee in this video if you're interested in the Jubilee giveaways. It's a weekly thing where you have to use hashtag Jubilee in all my videos, and you can share and get an entry into the May monthly Jubilee that's only picked by hand-drawn winner, and the weekly winner is hand-drawn video, which that's why you have to use hashtag Jubilee in all the videos, because you don't know which one's going to get drawn, and then the comment picker picks the winner. And we're going to be having our May winners, and like I said, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but the winners will come out 1st of June. And if they're already out, well then congratulations, and if they're not, I'm anticipating who my new winners are going to be. And I want to thank you all for joining in on the fun. But as for today and this overall makeup collage, that's all I have. And as usual, I wish you all a blessed and happy day. Bye-bye.